The Spooky Festival is known for how good it can be as a money making method, but it's not easy if you don't know what you're doing. In today's video, I'll be showing you the fastest ways to level up your spooky score alongside an additional way to make money by spooky fishing. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with the latest Skyblock content, consider leaving a like and subscribing. We just passed 3,000 subscribers, which is crazy to think about, so thank you guys so much. If you're wondering what my texture pack or shaders are, head on over to my Discord. The link will be in the description. A commonly asked question is, what is the Spooky Festival? Well, the Spooky Festival is an event that lasts for 1 hour and happens in Hypixel Skyblock every 5 days and 4 hours in real life time. The aim of the festival is to get as many spooky points as you can. You can get them by killing mobs and collecting 2 different types of candies. Green candies are worth 1 point, whereas purple candies are worth 5. Higher level mobs have a better chance to drop purple candies, which is why you want to aim for the highest level mob you can kill efficiently. The rewards are pretty straightforward. As you can see by the Fearmonger's rewards list, the higher score you have, the more rewards you get. Something to note is that if your score is 2,400 points or above, you are guaranteed every single item and coins on the list. Although these prizes are good, the most money you'll make is probably from the candy itself, as it can be sold on the bazaar. Green candies go for about 700 coins and purple go for around 8,000. There are different strategies to use depending on what stage of the game you are, but I'll start off with the essential items that every method requires. Firstly, to get as much candy as possible, you want to wear Spooky Armor or the Bat Person set. Their abilities are to increase the drop chance of candies by plus 5% per piece. The only main difference between the two sets is that the Bat Person set triples its own stats during the Spooky Festival. This can be very helpful if you need to deal more damage or have higher stats. Another essential item that you'll need is any variant of the Candy Talisman, which offers an additional plus 5% per rarity to obtain candies from killing a mob. The highest level of the talisman is called the Candy Relic and costs around 8.5 million coins on the auction house. The crazy thing about the Candy Relic is that it counts as if you're wearing the full Bat Person set because it boasts an insane plus 20% chance to drop extra candies. Since you'll be getting tons of candy with these methods, you'll need a Trick or Treat bag or the upgraded version, a Spooky Sack. The Trick or Treat bag costs 1 green candy from the Fearmonger, and it can be upgraded using 32 pumpkin guts, which costs 1.6 million coins. The very last item that you'll need is actually a pet. No surprise, this pet is the bat. It comes in 2 rarities, Legendary and Mythic, which both give another plus 20% extra candy drop chance at max level. The only difference between Legendary and Mythic is that the Mythic pet at level 100 gives 5 sea creature chance and a plus 25% chance to fish up spooky sea creatures. Something to watch out for are Trick or Treat chests. These pumpkin shaped chests are spawned by killing mobs during the Spooky Festival. They can either give you nothing as a trick, or valuable loot such as candies and talismans as a treat. All these essential items I went over will increase your spooky score by a lot, so try and get as many as possible. Now onto methods. The strategies that I'm about to go over are not the absolute best way to get candies, but they will for sure give you a high spooky score. Starting off with early game. If you're new to Skyblock, you probably don't deal that much damage, meaning it'll be hard to kill high level mobs. My suggestion is to aim for the highest level mob you can efficiently one-tap, as this will give you purple candy more often. You know what else you can one-tap? The subscribe button. Yeah, nah, that was cringe. But hey, it's there if you wanna, click it. Anyways, my favorite weapons are the explosive bow and frozen scythe due to their long range which can effectively kill mobs. One of the best locations to farm candy in the early game would have to be the crypt ghouls in the hub. They have surprisingly low health for their level. If you can't kill these, try killing spooky mobs with the zombie soldier cutlass, as it will give you a base stat of plus 100 bonus attack speed. If you aren't getting much candy, it's probably because you have a low extra candy drop chance. It'll help a ton if you can afford one of the armor sets I mentioned earlier, along with a bat pet and a spooky talisman variant. It's all optional, as being early game it can be hard to afford things. Now onto mid game. These strategies are much more efficient than early game tactics as they have higher requirements and more expensive gear. First of all, you'll need to buy a Juju shortbow with bouncy arrows or a Flower of Truth. The Juju shortbow's prices have nearly halved due to the recent panic selling in the preparation of the Skyblock 1.0 update. I find this dumb because the 1.0 update is said to come out in 2022, or even later. But hey, cheap shortbows I guess? Anyway, the best place to grind candy as a mid-game player is in the Spider's Den Cave. The mobs there, voracious spiders, levels range from 42 to 50 the deeper you go, which again is a very high level for the amount of health they have. Use the Juju shortbow and try your best to hit the spiders. The more accurate you are, the better. The strategy for Flower of Truth users is pretty much the same but without arrows. The spiders will spawn very often, but make sure you get into a lobby before the spooky event starts, so that other players don't try and steal your spot in the cave. Mid-game players should be able to afford Bat Person Armor, a bat pet of either rarity, as well as a high level candy talisman. Doing these techniques properly should get you well over the 2400 spooky score requirement for the top reward. You should expect to get around 10 million coins per spooky festival. Onto the late game methods. These strategies are very similar to mid-game, however they require much more expensive weapons. For the first meta, you'll need to kill the same voracious spiders but use a Hyperion with a Gloomlock Grimoire. The Gloomlock Grimoire's left click ability is to give the player 600 overflow mana at the cost of 15 soul flow and 25% health. Overflow mana is exactly what it sounds like, mana that is overflowing from the original mana cap. This ability makes it super easy to restore mana while using the Hyperion to teleport around and kill the spiders. Make sure your Bat Person set is Reforged and Necrotic so you have much more mana and mana regen. An alternate strategy is to use the Terminator with explosive arrows. The reason why I didn't recommend explosive arrows while using the Juju is that the Juju only shoots 1 arrow whereas the Terminator shoots 3. This makes it a lot harder to hit the mobs and instantly detonate the explosive arrows. You will need to wear full Bat Person armor with the max mythic bat pet and own a candy relic for the maximum possible candies. I suggest these items because if you have a Hyperion or Terminator, I'm sure you can afford them. Finally, the endgame method. This method is hard for players that don't deal that much damage. The reason for this is that the mob you will need to kill is the highest level mob in the Skyblock overworld that isn't a boss. This mob is called a ghost, and they look like invisible charged creepers which are found at the bottom of the Dwarven Mines, also known as the Mist. They are level 250, which means they have a very high chance to drop purple candy, allowing for a really high spooky score. To kill them, you'll need a soul whip, emerald blade, or giant sword to sword swap with. A warden helmet helps a lot for killing the ghost, but if you don't have one, wear full Bat Person with a mithril golem for true defense. Your Bat Person armor and warden helmet will need to be reforged to ancient so that you deal a lot more damage. Another option is to recombobulate your talismans to receive even higher damage stats. Don't forget to use a candy relic and a maxed out mythic bat pet for extra candy drops, as a small percentage can make a huge difference. The aim is to kill the ghosts within a few hits, because if you have to hit them over 5 times to kill them, they aren't worth your time grinding. Another really good thing about ghosts is that they drop sorrows, which usually go for 500,000 coins and are used to craft sorrow armor. By using this strategy, you'll for sure go above and beyond the 2400 candy requirement and make millions. Overall, I suggest trying as many of these strategies as you can to see which one works best for you. Now onto the additional money making method, spooky fishing. Spooky fishing refers to when spooky sea creatures are fished up during the 1 hour before and 1 hour after the spooky festival. You're also able to spooky fish during the festival, but it doesn't make as much money. To be able to spawn the spooky mob with the highest profit, the Grim Reaper, you'll need to be at least fishing level 26, so I recommend grinding that first. Even without fishing level 26, spooky fishing is quite worthwhile for the money it can produce. I found that one of the best places to spooky fish is at the Ghost Hub Pond. The Ghost Pond is accessed by walking to the spider's den and teleporting back to the hub by using a tool like the aspect at the end. The reason why this location is so good is that you're technically still based in the spider's den and it occasionally rains there. Rain increases your fishing speed by a small bit, but it adds up over time. Use spooky bait and try to get as much sea creature chance as possible, because the spooky sea creatures will earn you the most money. Whale bait is known to be better than spooky bait, but whale bait costs you a lot more, possibly putting you at a loss. The best way you can spooky fish is by using shark scale armor, a rod of the sea, and a dolphin or ammonite pet. There are much cheaper armor sets and rods, but they will be weak against the spooky mobs. What you want to do is fish until you fish off a spooky mob with valuable drops. You can find out what mobs are the best by looking at the Skyblock wiki. Next, get as much magic find as you can. This will affect the drop chance of some of the rarer drops. Finally, kill the spooky mob. Something to note is that the Hound's double drop chance was recently patched, so use a magic find pet or fishing EXP buff pet when killing the spooky monsters. By using this method 1 hour before and 1 hour after the spooky festival, it's possible to make millions of coins per hour, but it will be different for everyone due to the different levels and stats. It's all RNG. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Don't forget to join my Discord. Thanks for watching. See ya.